I once tore up the most popular girl's love letter right in front of her. And then, loud enough for the whole class to hear, I twisted the knife and said the one line I regret more than anything. I don't do charity cases. Years later, I saw Sophia Reed again. This time at the IPO party celebrating her new tech giant. A reporter leaned toward her with bright eyes and asked, "Ms. Reed, we hear there was a boy from your high school you never quite forgot." Sophia's cold gaze cut right through the crowd and landed directly on me. "There was," she said, her voice steady. "And I hope for the rest of my life he never shows his face in front of me again." Outside, a light rain was falling, but inside the celebration, the room pulsed with energy. Sophia stood by a towering pyramid of champagne glasses, giving a toast. From a corner, nearly hidden in shadows, my coworker Leo nudged me, whispering, "Ethan, you went to high school with her? Why didn't you ever tell us?" I tightened my grip around my temporary staff ID and didn't respond. We were supposed to be washing dishes in the back kitchen, but the manager suddenly reassigned us to the ballroom floor, right next to the VIP section. The entire night, no matter where I moved, I could feel Sophia's icy gaze sweeping across the room, brushing past me again and again like a blade. I'd kept up with her career from afar. I watched her go from scrappy startup founder to a titan of the industry. She wasn't the shy girl who once tucked love letters behind textbooks. She was someone else entirely. If they hadn't been short-staffed that night, Leo and I never would have been placed anywhere near this ballroom. And I definitely wouldn't have been standing so close to her. As my mind drifted, the event began winding down. Sophia stepped next to the champagne tower and lifted a microphone. "It's been a while," she said softly, her voice carrying easily over the rain tapping the windows. A wave of applause washed over the room. She leaned against the bar, casual, confident. "For tonight's interactive session," she said, "I prepared a little game. There's a question on the back of your name tags. You all had to write an answer to get in. I trust you did." The crowd responded with cheerful excitement. "We did." All filled out. And then her eyes landed on me. "So next, I'm going to pick one lucky guest to share their answer," she said. "I hope no one minds." The atmosphere tightened. I felt my heart clamp to my chest. My fingers dug into my ID card. Then, a blinding spotlight hit me. The camera followed. My face, still in my kitchen uniform, appeared on the massive screen behind her. I looked like a terrified deer caught in headlights. Hundreds of industry leaders stared at the poor kitchen worker suddenly thrust into the center of attention. Sophia let out a soft laugh. "Looks like you're tonight's lucky guest." The question from the name tag flashed on screen. "Is there someone from your school days you could never let go of?" Light-hearted chuckles rippled through the room. The rule was simple. The guest and Sophia both had to answer the same question. And in that moment, a memory I tried to bury pushed itself back to the surface. The way I'd shredded her confession letter, the look on her face, the way the room laughed as I walked away, pretending not to care. A staff member approached, smiling politely, and took the ID from my hand. The camera zoomed in. A beat later, my messy scrawl appeared on the huge screen. Yes. I felt Sophia's gaze shift, cold enough to freeze bone. She sat beneath the massive chandelier, head tilted, expression unreadable. "Would you mind telling us the story?" she asked calmly. I pressed my lips together. I'd rather not. That chapter of my life had never fully closed. It was a dull pain I lived with, one I'd caused myself. "Is that so?" Sophia smiled. The camera focused on her flawless face as she raised her champagne flute. "I have someone too," she said softly. The room hushed. "He's here tonight." Then, with a dismissive laugh, she added, "But I hope for the rest of my life he never shows his face in front of me again. We're better off. It's for the best." Whispers erupted everywhere. "Oh my God, who is he? Did he actually show up?" Leo turned to me, outraged. "What kind of guy would show up here after doing her dirty like that? Thinks he can crawl back now that she's successful? Does he even deserve her?" I forced a weak smile. Probably not. My own future had ended in flames just days before graduation. I never recovered. After the party, a massive thunderstorm rolled over the city. The hotel entrance was jammed with luxury cars. Leo slipped in the parking garage and hurt himself badly, enough that his girlfriend had to rush him to the ER, leaving me standing in the rain with my sleeping son in my arms. I waited nearly half an hour, but the Uber line wasn't moving. Nearby, a group of guests were chatting loudly. "I heard the guy seduced Sophia before graduation," one said. "Messed with her head so he could take the early admission spot at Harvard. Then, once he got his acceptance, he dumped her." "No way. How do you know?" Caleb Vance said it in an interview. Hearing that name after all these years sent a chill straight through me. Because of Caleb's malicious rumor, I didn't get the early admission spot. I didn't make it to Harvard. And I lost the girl I loved. Meanwhile, Caleb, the one who shoved me off that cliff, was now the heir to the powerful Vance Corporation. I pulled in a deep breath, adjusted my grip on my son, and walked toward the quieter side entrance under the covered awning. The noise of the party faded behind me. The area was pitch black. I started walking faster. I didn't see the figure until I collided with them. Hard. I nearly fell, but a hand shot out, steadying me. There was a faint scent, something subtle, not perfume, but familiar. "Sorry, my fault," I said automatically. Just then, bright headlights exploded to life. As my eyes adjusted, her face came into view, sharp, elegant, and unmistakably cold. Sophia Reed. Her assistants stood behind her holding equipment and bags. "Excuse me, sir," one snapped. "Ms. Reed is not taking questions or interviews during her private time. Please leave immediately." A couple of bodyguards stepped between us. They thought I was paparazzi. Heat crawled up my neck. "I'm sorry, I just—" "Long time no see," Sophia said suddenly, her voice flat. Everyone fell silent. All eyes turned to me. They'd figured it out. I was the guy from her speech. I hugged my son tighter. "Sorry to bother you. You won't get a ride from the side entrance either," Sophia cut in. "Your choice. Stand here in the rain or come with me." I couldn't let my son get soaked, so I got in her car. The rain battered the roof like fists. I was shivering. "Thanks," I muttered. "How old is he?" she asked. 3. Just started preschool." The temperature in the car somehow felt even colder after that. I stared out the window at the crowds chanting her name. The girl who used to sit alone in the back of the class was now someone unreachable. My phone suddenly rang. Sophia's eyes flicked to the screen. I hesitated. "You're not going to answer?" she asked. "It's not." My son's small hand accidentally hit the speaker button. "Hey, are you home tonight? I made you some soup." A woman's voice filled the car. "Megan." Someone my mom had been trying to set me up with. She'd kept pursuing me, even though I'd turned her down many times. I froze, scrambling to turn it off. In the process, my bag tipped over. Something slid out. A worn keychain with a small laminated photo of Sophia from high school. Her eyes locked onto it. A tiny, unreadable laugh escaped her. Mortified, I tried to grab it, but in my panic, I hit the window control instead. The window slid down slightly, and fans outside screamed louder. Blinding white flashes filled my vision. "There's a man in the car." "Get a picture." Suddenly, a hand covered my eyes. Sophia leaned in from behind me, her breath brushing my ear. "You really haven't changed, have you?" she whispered. "You're a kitchen porter now, yet you're still carrying around my picture. Is this how your company trains its staff?" "I'm not." "What's your angle?" she interrupted sharply. "Trying to prove you're still hung up on me? Want the press to splash our picture everywhere so you can ride my coattails?" She tilted my chin up, forcing my eyes to meet hers. "Go on," she said coldly. "Give the paparazzi a good look. Smile. You're about to be a headline." My stomach dropped, and then I heard the window lowering all the way. Cold air blasted in. But when I looked out, there were no paparazzi, no flashing cameras, just a dark stretch of freeway. We were already on the highway. Sophia leaned back, closed her eyes, and said nothing. My phone lay on the floor. Megan had hung up. After a long silence, Sophia said, her voice like ice, "Get out when we stop. You've sunk this low. Don't come near me again." When she finally stopped the car, I almost tripped getting out. I didn't look back. To her, I was nothing more than a pathetic memory. A few days later, news broke that Sophia had a new boyfriend. The photo of her in the car, with my face blurred, was everywhere. People assumed it was Caleb Vance. My best friend called. "That was you in the car, wasn't it?" "Yeah." He hesitated. "Ethan, are you sure you want to get involved in this? Caleb will come after you again. He'll destroy you." "I know," I said quietly, "which is why I hope I never see her again." But fate has a dark sense of humor. Not long after, my old boss from the catering company called me in. "I need an exclusive interview with Sophia Reed for a major business magazine," he said. "The whole internet thinks she's with Caleb Vance. Leo told me you were high school classmates. You should be able to dig up something good. Land this, and I'll double your pay." I sat there for a long moment, thinking. I agreed. I didn't want to be a server for the rest of my life. I needed money, real money, if I was ever going to rebuild my life. So, when early winter came, I took a train to Chicago, where Sophia was scheduled to speak at a major business summit. That evening, I checked into the same hotel she was staying in. Around 5 p.m., I heard noise and movement from the lobby. When I looked down, I saw Sophia Reed walking in with a full entourage around her. She looked just as radiant as always. Ever since her company went public, she had become a real powerhouse. And beside her was a familiar face. Caleb Vance. Reporters rushed toward them. "Mr. Vance, any special reason you're accompanying Ms. Reed on this trip?" Caleb gave a small, shy smile. "Just here to support Sophia at the summit, of course." His playful tone made the reporters cheer. Sophia didn't react. She just stared at her phone with an expression I couldn't read. Then Caleb spotted me. His smile slipped just for a second, before he casually draped an arm over Sophia's shoulder. "Tonight is private time. All interviews are canceled. I hope everyone can respect that." He stared straight at me when he said the last part. It was a message, a warning, a power move. He knew my magazine had pulled every string possible just to get me one night in this hotel, and he knew that after tonight, I'd lose access to Sophia completely. Sophia brushed his arm off and walked toward the elevators. As Caleb passed me, he smiled at the hotel manager. "Please make sure no reporters get up to the suites," he said loudly. So annoying. Thanks to Caleb's little performance, the entire floor Sophia was staying on became stacked with security. I had no choice but to wait in the elevator lobby. Meanwhile, Caleb's Instagram was updating with scenic photos, and his followers were buzzing, waiting for a picture of the happy couple. Most people online assumed Sophia was out enjoying the city with him. I waited from daylight into the evening, into the night. Just when I thought she wasn't coming back, an elevator dinged open. Sophia was inside. Our eyes met. I caught the faint scent of alcohol drifting from her. She didn't say a word. She stepped out, walked into the lobby, and leaned against a wall near me. The overhead lights sharpened the angles of her face, highlighting just how impossibly perfect she looked. We stepped into the elevator. The doors closed. Silence swallowed us. I swallowed hard. "Ms. Reed, we had an appointment for tonight. Just give me a few minutes. I'll be quick." A slender hand shot forward, grabbed my collar, and slammed me against the wall. The cold metal jolted through my back. Her breath was hot against my skin. "Why did you come back?" she whispered. She was slim, but her presence was overwhelming. I grabbed her wrist, terrified someone would see us. "I need the money," I said quickly. "Money." Sophia let out a laugh, sharp, bitter, like I'd told her the funniest thing in the world. Her hand trembled. "Running low on formula?" she mocked. "Is that Megan woman so useless she can't support you? Forcing you to come begging to your high school classmate in the middle of the night?" I stayed silent. "That's my private life," I finally said. "It has nothing to do with you. Is that so?" Sophia pulled a black credit card out of her dress and shoved it against my chest. "Beg me, Ethan. Go on. Ask me for it. You're drunk." "Not enough," she snapped. Her voice grew louder. "I've got deeds to condos, too. How many do you want? Or do you want them all?" "Why?" was all I could say. She didn't answer. Instead, She started pulling at the strap of her dress. "Or maybe it's me you want," she said quietly. "Just beg me, and it's all yours." My phone rang. Worst timing possible. As I reached for it, Sophia snatched it from my hand. She glanced at the screen. "Megan." Something in her snapped. She hit the answer button, then suddenly stood on her toes and kissed me. Hard. The taste of wine washed over my tongue. I was stunned. I struggled, pushing against her, but she held on with surprising strength. Her hands cupped my face. Her body pressed against mine. I could feel her heartbeat hammering. "Sophia, are you crazy?" She tugged at my shirt, loosened my tie. Her eyes burned with desperate, frantic emotion. Her voice was rough. Ethan Hayes. Don't be with her. Be with me. I'll be good to you and your son. I promise." I finally tore myself away, gasping for air. "I'm single, Ms. Reed." Before I could finish, she pulled me back into another fierce, breath-stealing kiss. And the truth was, when someone you've silently loved for years throws themselves at you, it's almost impossible to resist. That night, my dreams dragged me back to the past. The girl in the white dress. Her blush. Her voice. "Hey, Sophia," I said back then, grabbing her arm with a grin. "Come see a movie with me after the decathlon." She bit her lip. "The principal said boys and girls aren't supposed to hang out alone. It's just a movie. Trust me." Back then, I was confident, bright, fearless about showing affection. Back then, I kissed her in a dark theater, just like she had pinned me against the wall tonight. My heart, frozen for years, had exploded into a boiling, restless storm. When I woke up, morning traffic was already humming outside. Sophia was gone. I sat by the window in my wrinkled shirt, staring blankly at the city. It took a long time before last night came back to me in full. She had called me by my name, called me the top student I used to be, but the truth was, I had lied. If she ever found out I never went to Harvard, that I never even graduated high school, would she still look at me the same? Before she could find out, I grabbed my suitcase and left. But the elevator doors opened, and I ran straight into Caleb Vance. Well, Ethan," he said, smirking. His eyes drifted to my suitcase. "Leaving so soon? But I heard you spent the night in Sophia's suite." How the hell did he know? Caleb blocked the doorway and leaned in close. "You don't really think Sophia likes you, do you? She's getting revenge, idiot. She slept with you, and now she's going to tell everyone what a pathetic joke you are." Cold dread surged through me. I shoved his hand away and walked forward. Caleb laughed behind me. "You're just a burnout who fooled around in the girls' bathroom in high school. Get a grip on reality." That damn line hit a nerve. I stopped, turned, walked straight up to Caleb. A second later, the punch echoed through the lobby. A clean, solid hit. Caleb clutched his cheek, stunned. "You hit me." "I should have done that years ago," I said, shaking with years of buried anger. "I don't care how famous you are. To me, you'll always be a pathetic, rumor-mongering coward." Caleb's eyes turned cold. "Is that so? Then turn around. Let's see who they believe, you or me." I turned. A storm of flashing cameras erupted around me. Reporters flooded the lobby like locusts. "Mr. Hayes, an anonymous source, claims you were involved in misconduct in the women's restroom in high school. Is that true? Your former classmates say you graduated from Harvard, but records show you dropped out of high school. Can you confirm? Did you spend last night in Ms. Reed's suite? Were you lying to her about your past?" Just like that, the old wound was ripped open. Not reopened, ripped apart, skin and flesh and all. Suddenly, I was back in that office years ago. Caleb standing in the sunlight, lying without blinking. "Sir, I need to report Ethan Hayes. That condom they found, it was from him. He was in the girls' bathroom with someone." And here he was, again, using the same trick to destroy me. Behind me, Caleb pressed his hand to his face and said dramatically, "Please don't listen to these rumors. So what if he dropped out of high school? His private life is his own business. Please respect my privacy." The reporters murmured. "Did you see that? He punched Caleb, and Caleb is still defending him. What a psycho. So he really is a dropout. Get him out of here." Then the crowd parted. Sophia appeared, holding a handbag, returning to the hotel. She looked like she'd been standing there for a very long time. In the chaos of cameras and shouting, she spoke quietly. "You lied to me, didn't you?" It took all I had to force the single word out. "Yes." I stood there, blank-faced, hands clenched. I'd been through this before. I'd lost everything before. This time, I wasn't afraid. "Liar. Get out." Suddenly, a metal water bottle flew toward my head. Before I could react, Sophia shoved through the crowd and blocked it with her body. The entire lobby froze. Everyone waited, because whatever Sophia Reed said next would decide the whole story. Sophia let out a cold, shaky laugh. "Ethan Hayes, why do you always have to disappoint me? You knew I was falling for you, and you played me for a fool." I forced a smile that hurt to make. "I'm sorry." Caleb rushed in, ever the actor. "Sophia, I don't know why he hit me. Please don't blame him." For a second, I honestly wondered if Sophia would punch me too. Instead, she looked up at Caleb and said, her voice like ice, "If he hit you, you must have deserved it." The entire room inhaled sharply. No one had ever seen Sophia this confrontational. Then she took my cold hand in hers. "It doesn't matter," she said, shockingly calm. "Whatever you are, it doesn't matter." A fan screamed, "Sophia, stop. He's fooling you." But Sophia didn't stop. She didn't care. In front of everyone, she took my hand and led me out of the chaos. Within an hour, the headline tech CEO elopes with Mystery Man was trending on Twitter. The comments were brutal. Caleb deserved better. He supported her for years. She ran off with some burnout, but others were neutral. Sophia Reed is always rational. Maybe there's more to it. We'll wait for her statement. Now, her luxury car was parked on a deserted beach. Sophia stood outside, talking on the phone. "Yes. Release the statement later. I don't care what people think." I sat there, staring out the window, lost. In my entire life, I couldn't remember anyone ever telling me that whatever I was okay. My mind drifted back to that horrible afternoon years ago. The condom in the girls' restroom. The principal's office. The way the sunlight hit my shoulders. Caleb's voice. And the accusation that would haunt me for the rest of my life. Caleb whispered, "I saw Ethan go into the girls' bathroom." "That's a lie," I shot back immediately, disbelief tightening my voice. "You told me Sophia had fainted in there. I went to check and she wasn't even there." Caleb's eyes widened like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. "I never said that. Ethan, don't try to dump your own messed up behavior on me." Sophia sat in the car next to me, listening to all of this as I retold it. Her eyebrows pulled together slowly. "But, with no proof, why would they make you drop out?" she asked. "Because my mother was a gambling addict with massive debts," I said quietly. When she heard about the accusation from the principal, she immediately told them I was messing around at school and demanded the school pay her $200,000 in compensation. She threatened to go to the press if they didn't, and Caleb offered to be her witness. I exhaled shakily. In a way, both Caleb and my mother were the culprits. Sophia's expression hardened. "So when you left school a month early, you were expelled?" "Yeah." The word still stung even after all these years. I'd been at the top of my class. But when my mother started gambling, everything changed. I stared out the window. "On my last day, when I went to clean out my locker, I found your letter." My voice came out too calm, considering what I was confessing. "My mother was going to come find you. She said she could sell a night with me for a couple $100. So I tore up your letter right in front of you." Sophia inhaled sharply, but I kept going. "I'm sorry I called you a charity case. But if she knew your family had money, if she had said those filthy things to you, I would have rather died." Sophia turned her face toward the window. Her slender hands tightened on the steering wheel. They were trembling. After a long silence, she took a deep breath, grabbed her phone, typed something quickly, and set it back down. "I understand, Ethan." She repeated it, softer. "I understand." Then suddenly, she covered her face with her hands. I stared at the fogged-up car window before finally pulling out my phone, planning to check the comments on her social media. Sophia snatched the phone straight out of my hand and tossed it into the back seat. Stop looking at that garbage. Is it bad? I asked. It's nothing. Her voice said one thing, but I knew the truth. Not everyone would patiently listen to my side of the story the way she had. For a second, I almost said I should leave. Being with someone like me will only drag you down. Sophia scoffed. Ethan Hayes, you think you can sleep with me, and then run away? Her eyes flashed. Not a chance. Especially not after telling me all this. You think I'd let you go now? I hesitated. But everyone loves Caleb. I only talked to him because he said he could get information about you. He said he could help me win you over. Sophia's voice went cold. I don't need his help anymore. I thought for a long moment. I still have to go. I need to deal with my own messes. When I'm done, can I come find you then? The truth was, if she went public with our relationship, right now, her company's stock would take a hit. And someday, during a fight, she might throw it back in my face. I gave up everything for you. I never wanted to carry that weight on her shoulders. I picked up her phone. Password, 0527. My birthday. I paused, swallowed hard, and posted a new status on her Twitter profile. We're just friends. Sophia took the phone back and stared at the message. The car went completely silent. Outside, a light rain began to fall. I forgot, she murmured, a flicker of regret crossing her face. Our relationship isn't exactly official yet, but you can send me your resume periodically. She cleared her throat. I have a lot of resources. I can help you find a good job. Did she really think I couldn't get a job? Thanks, but I don't need. What time is your train? Sophia cut in quickly, like she didn't want to hear me refuse her again. 7:30. Okay, I'll take you. The rain grew heavier on the way to the station. When we arrived, I pulled a small umbrella from my bag. As I stepped out, Sophia suddenly called my name. Ethan, in your eyes, am I a terrible person? I met her deep, steady gaze and smiled softly. You're amazing. So amazing that I feel like I'll never deserve you. Because of that tweet, the public furor died down. The comment section returned to normal. But her assistant wasn't having it. Sophia, just focus on building a life with Caleb. It's for the best. Promise me you won't go looking for that broke kid again. I quit my job at the hotel and started studying for the GRE. At the end of the year, I received a generous final paycheck and took the train home. I didn't want to go back, but my grandfather had left behind an old photo album. I wanted to retrieve it this year, so I'd never have to return again. On New Year's Eve, the whole neighborhood buzzed with celebration. Kids running around, fireworks exploding in the courtyard. I walked toward the old crumbling apartment building and saw my belongings piled next to a dumpster. From upstairs, my mother's voice thundered through the walls. The hell? I'm being sponsored? I'm a woman, not a piece of meat for sale. You tell me who posted my information on that disgusting app. I'll say it again, I'm not for sale. To hell with your $200. I stood downstairs listening for a while, then called Sophia. I think my mom has been getting some strange phone calls. Sophia didn't sound surprised. Yeah, don't worry about her. Wait, you went home? Yeah, I'm downstairs now. Just came to get something, and then I'm leaving. I'm not going up. Don't worry, she said quickly, and hung up. My mother was now yelling at Caleb Vance's parents. If he doesn't end up with a nice girl, I don't want him as a son. And if he dares come back, I'll break his legs. From now on, his paycheck goes straight to his future wife. Over the years, whatever affection I had for my mother had been worn down to nothing. I crouched by the trash heap until I found the photo album. I dusted it off and walked into the swirling snow. At the street corner, I saw a woman wrapped in a wool coat. The streetlight stretched her shadow long and thin. Even with a mask on, her profile was unmistakable. Sophia. She looked like she'd been walking in the snow for a while, her shoulders and hat coated in white. She rushed toward me and wrapped her arms around me, hugging me tightly. Her breath came out in quick, warm bursts. Ethan Hayes, Happy New Year. The old neighborhood had no fancy places to eat, so Sophia led me into a warm, steamy 24-hour diner and ordered a cheeseburger deluxe with extra fries for me. What are you doing here? I asked. Her family had moved downtown years ago. She didn't have any relatives here. She ordered a cup of tomato soup and shrugged casually. I'm scouting a new project nearby. Just eat your food. Don't ask so many questions. Inside the warm diner air, her eyes held something gentle and deep, something that made my face heat up. I cleared my throat. Oh, okay. I ate while Sophia simply watched me. I'll be here for about 2 weeks, she said. What are your plans? I'm heading back soon. Even for the holidays? She frowned. Yeah, I have to study for my exams. Sophia stirred her soup, making the croutons bob. I wiped my mouth. This place has too many bad memories. I don't want to stay. That whole thing in high school with Caleb's false accusation. I wanted to defend myself, but after so long, there's still no proof. And now my mom is trying to marry me off for some quick cash. My life basically hit rock bottom. I took a big bite of my burger. I spent 3 years getting my high school equivalency. Another 3 years saving for grad school. The next 3 years, I'm going to Harvard. Sophia pressed a crouton down into her soup. I knew it. Ethan Hayes has always been Ethan Hayes. You really think some stupid rumors could hurt you? You're just afraid being with me will mess up your grad school plans, aren't you? I felt embarrassed. Yeah, but... Ethan, she interrupted softly, just smile. Whatever you do is fine. I support you. After the late-night meal, she had to go back to her company to deal with fallout from a conference. I called an Uber to the airport. Sophia stood in the middle of the street, wrapped in a wool scarf, wearing a lazy, gentle smile. Hey, Ethan Hayes, when you get into Harvard, will you be with me? I thought for a second. We'll see. After New Year's, I started traveling between cities to meet potential academic advisors. The day I received an acceptance email, I had just returned to my tiny rented apartment, and someone was standing at my door. Caleb Vance. Thanks to Sophia, I'd learned a bit about the business world these past months. Apparently, Caleb hadn't been focusing on his own brand. He was obsessed with becoming some kind of celebrity influencer. He opened a few pop-up shops. They all failed. His partnership with Reed Industries had ended. And now here he was, with that same smarmy smile. Long time no see, Ethan. I froze on the landing. What are you doing here again? Do I threaten you that much? He clearly hadn't expected me to go straight for the throat. His smile vanished. Are you insane? Why would I be afraid of you? I don't know, I said casually. Seems like you're not very good at anything. Your brand failed. Your influencer stores closed. It's almost like you fail at everything you do. The corner of his mouth twitched violently before he forced a fake smile. How about I post that story from high school again? Maybe on a live stream this time. Tell the whole world. I blinked. Go ahead. Be my guest. I shut the door in his face. A moment later, my phone buzzed, the official acceptance list for the Harvard graduate program. My name was on it. My advisor messaged me. Don't get into any trouble for the next few weeks. Just keep your head down until the acceptance is finalized. I listened. I didn't tell anyone I got in. But Caleb didn't stop. Halfway through the probationary period, he brought up my high school past during a live stream. Oh man, that was a huge scandal back in the day, he sighed dramatically. When he should have been studying, he was messing around with randoms in the girls' bathroom. The school was nice enough not to publicly expel him. Otherwise, it would have affected all the other students applying for early admission. After the live stream, Caleb's team bought tons of promotion to push him trending. They tried to make him look like some misunderstood cool guy. His fans flooded my old social media, mocking me. He really thinks he can compete with Caleb for Sophia. In his dreams. Burnout. That's you, Ethan Hayes. The rumors spread fast through academic circles, and suddenly my position at the university felt shaky. My advisor asked me a few routine questions about the situation, but he never took any real action to help. So I held on, barely, until the very last day of my probation period. Then I picked up the phone and called the police. Is he joking? In the conference room, Caleb looked at the officers standing at the door and actually laughed, like the whole thing was beneath him. It's the truth, I said. What lie? He snapped, lifting a Starbucks cup as if nothing was happening, right before an officer grabbed his wrist and locked handcuffs around it. Caleb froze, panic ripping through his face. What are you doing? The officer didn't even blink. You posted that video online, correct? You said those things, correct? Then we've got the right person. But he really did it. Caleb shouted. The two officers exchanged a glance. Do you have any proof? One of them asked. He didn't. All those years ago, in our small, underdeveloped hometown, innocence wasn't something you were given. You had to prove it yourself. But things are different now. Only Caleb was still living like the world hadn't changed, clinging to ignorance like it was a shield. And just like that, at his own grand product launch event, in front of cameras and a packed venue, Caleb Vance was arrested. Within 2 minutes, the news was everywhere. Not long after, my phone rang. It was Sophia. Ethan, turn on the live stream. My new project launch is starting. After disappearing for months, Sophia was suddenly back in the public eye. I never expected that her new project would be a foundation built at our old high school. The live stream opened with a slideshow of Sophia's old school photos. She stood in front of the wall of honor, and beside her hung the school's academic ranking chart. Someone in the live chat, sharp-eyed, typed, "Wait, is that Ethan Hayes? The burnout?" Then another message popped up. "Born out Ethan Hayes won academic awards? Ranked top 3? Caleb's fans, who had rushed into the stream just to mock people, fell dead silent, because Caleb's name wasn't anywhere on the honor roll. Not once. Not in any year. Almost every list was topped by me and Sophia. No way. Caleb was the slacker? My whole world is a lie. The camera cut to Sophia walking through the school hallway beside our old homeroom teacher. His hair had gone gray, and he seemed uneasy during the interview. When someone asked if he had any regrets in his teaching career, the teacher paused for a long time. Then he said quietly, "Probably what happened with Ethan Hayes." The live chat exploded. No way. There's more to the story. Don't tell me he was framed. Did he get expelled unfairly? The teacher sighed. He was a brilliant student. Very talented. If he hadn't been reported back then, he would have had a very bright future. The incident happened right before graduation. Everyone was nervous, and I admit I didn't investigate properly. I made the decision too quickly, too carelessly. Combined with Caleb's arrest a few days ago, online sleuths pieced everything together instantly. Oh my God, he's talking about Caleb reporting him, isn't he? Caleb ruined his life. Caleb called him the burnout? The school expelled him because his mom gambled? They destroyed a good student for nothing. And then another comment. His mother sold his future for only $200K? That's heartbreaking. If my mom did that, I'd never go home again. That night, Caleb's social media drowned in comments demanding he apologize. This is bullying. Caleb Vance, get out and face everyone. It only took a few hours before Caleb disabled his entire comment section. That same day, I received dozens of messages, some supportive, some apologetic, some just shocked. I texted Sophia. "Thank you." She replied instantly. "Then buy me dinner." I didn't expect her to arrange a whole reunion. She invited all our old high school friends, the ones we were genuinely close to, and even hired a camera crew to film the event as a special feature. When I arrived at the upscale restaurant, I barely stepped through the door before I was surrounded. "The genius is here. You finally showed up. You look better now than you did back then." Most of them were married now, living quiet lives in smaller cities. They didn't follow online drama. Their compliments felt real, untainted by trends or gossip. After a few rounds of drinks, the door swung open, and Sophia walked in with that familiar, effortless smile. "Sorry I'm late." The room exploded into cheers. "Hey, beautiful. 3 shots as punishment." Sophia laughed and sat beside me, picking up a glass of juice instead of alcohol. "I drove," she said, "so Ethan can take them for me." She handed the glasses to me, and while the room laughed, the live stream chat suddenly went insane. "OMG, this is so sweet. Is this what genius love looks like? Only a real partner takes the penalty shots for you." After 3 glasses of juice, my face was burning hot. I could hear people talking, laughing, telling old stories, but the buzzing in my head made everything float. When the night ended and everyone left, Sophia returned from paying the bill to find me still sitting there, frozen in place. "Ethan Hayes, what are you doing?" she asked. Her perfume drifted over me, warm and soft. I leaned in without thinking. "I'm a little dizzy," I whispered. "My head's going to start ringing soon. Just ignore me." Sophia leaned closer, inspecting my face. "You're drunk off that little bit of juice?" "No." She sighed and pulled me to my feet. "We're taking a car, right?" I mumbled. "I can walk on my own." Sophia stretched the words out teasingly. "Taking a car. But where exactly do you think you're going?" The cameraman chimed in. "He probably needs someone to look after him. Otherwise he might get sick." Sophia froze. Then, after a second, she lifted her hand and covered the camera lens. "Sorry, that's all for tonight." The live stream exploded in question marks. "What do you mean we can't watch?" The live stream became a massive, unprecedented success. That night, Sophia's line, "To have been able to love you is my honor," spread across every major news outlet. Later, on the balcony of a luxury hotel suite, I held her in my arms and kissed her gently. With that soft, seductive voice of hers, she whispered in my ear, "Say it again. Are you going to make this official or not? I have everything I need. I'm definitely qualified to be your kid's stepmother, right?" I blinked at her, confused. "I don't have a kid. He was my old boss's son." "You misunderstood." The way Sophia's face froze was priceless. I tried to smooth it over. "Sophia, do you just really like the idea of being a stepmother?" And as if the universe wanted to make it worse, a burst of laughter erupted from the next room. My employees, who had apparently overheard their boss's embarrassing moment, scrambled away like roaches when the lights come on. Sophia's expression darkened immediately. She grabbed my chin and shut me up with a kiss. I tried to protest. "I can't date a tycoon. I have to study." "It won't affect your studies," she insisted. "I swear I'll let you graduate in peace." In the end, I gave in. And surprisingly, she kept her promise. Even after our high-profile relationship announcement, my life barely changed. Sophia updated her Twitter bio, too. "Don't bother him, or he'll break up with me." Any reporter who tried to sneak a photo of me got hit with a cease and desist letter from Reed Industries' legal team. After a few of those, everyone backed off. Later, to help out with Reed Industries' PR, I created my own Twitter account. On day one, I was already flooded with tags. "Ethan, Sophia broke her promise again. Break up with her." I clicked one of the links. Someone had snapped a candid photo of me during a lecture. The caption read, "Does anyone else get it? This is the raw power of a genius. No wonder Sophia likes him. I like him too." Sophia had liked the tweet just minutes earlier. Someone teased in the comments, "Two-faced much? Miss Reed, I thought you promised not to bother him." I stared at it for a while, then sent Sophia the link. She replied instantly, "He looked too good." I couldn't resist. "Oh." I sighed, closed my phone, and went to discuss my thesis revisions with my professor. When I checked again later, my notifications had exploded. 10 inches extra. Sophia is thirsty on Maine again. Is she trying to seduce our boy Ethan? Sophia had posted a new set of mature, professional photos, wearing a black power suit, standing partially behind drapes, her profile outlined by soft light. She looked effortlessly chic and outrageously alluring. "Damn, those legs." Someone commented, "Everyone knows Sophia's got a killer body. Ethan is a lucky man." That night, I took a taxi straight to Sophia's penthouse. The next morning, Sophia tweeted, "The reporters outside are gone. My gentleman is still asleep." 3 years flashed by like nothing. I graduated with honors. Even though I'd spent 3 years in Boston, I still preferred Shanghai's climate. Sophia never permanently relocated. She spent the last 2 years flying back and forth across the country. The day I returned to Shanghai, it was raining, fittingly, I guess. Leo, my old coworker, and his girlfriend picked me up from the airport. "Check out our new car," Leo bragged. "No more crowded subways for us." Sophia was home that night, so I should have gone straight there. But my old editor-in-chief had asked to meet. He wanted to know if I'd consider returning to the magazine. The salary he offered was much higher than before, but with my wedding to Sophia coming up, he wasn't sure if journalism was still what I wanted. Leo glanced at me from the driver's seat. If I were you, I'd just be a kept man at home. Why work so hard? By the way, still planning to stick to financial news? No, I said. I want to do investigative reporting. I probably won't touch business news again. My past made that decision for me. I wanted to give a voice to the voiceless. Dinner with my editor went well. The job was basically confirmed. By the time I got home, it was almost 11 p.m. The moment I stepped through the door, Sophia wrapped her arms around me from behind. Her voice was tired, soft. All settled. Yeah, I said. All settled. Then I noticed the cake and the dishes she prepared, now cold. You haven't eaten? MHM. I was waiting for you. Guilt punched me in the chest. I'm sorry. Sophia placed a gift in my hand. Why are you sorry? Because I might have to go to New York next month for a fellowship. I don't know how long I'll be gone. She froze for just a moment. That's nothing you need to apologize for. But we just got back together, I whispered, hugging her tightly. I didn't want to let go. Oh, Sophia smiled. So you'll miss me? Then take me with you. And when she said she'd go, she meant it. I spent several years in New York. She stayed with me the entire time. Her company kept expanding, but her public appearances became rare. Her friends teased her for being lovesick. She'd just shrug and say she was abroad with her husband. Another 3 years passed in an instant. Because of my work, I was transferred back home to a major television network. On the same day, Sophia made her high-profile return to the business world, generating massive buzz. We walked hand in hand through the airport, one of us a rising giant in news, the other a titan of industry. Fans swarmed so heavily the airport almost came to a standstill. As we were leaving the terminal, I heard a sharp, impatient voice nearby. You've been passed around by that rich ____. Who do you think you're acting all high and mighty with? I turned toward the sound. A young man stood behind a woman, head lowered, apologizing quietly. Out of nowhere, she slapped him hard. Sammy, stop. I called out instinctively. Sophia stopped too. She followed my gaze. Oh, isn't she the head of the Chun Corporation? She's got a terrible reputation. I've heard whispers about some shady deals. I stayed quiet for a few seconds. She knew exactly what that meant. I get it, she said softly. You're going after another story, aren't you? If I did this story right, it could launch my career into the stratosphere. Sophia's assistant looked nervous. But reporters want to interview you too about your marriage. With the attention right now, your company's stock could skyrocket. It's fine, Sophia said gently. There will be other chances. She smiled and gave me a light push. Go. I'll be home waiting for dinner. She stood there in the sunlight, calm, confident, and effortlessly beautiful. I took the microphone from my colleague, leaned over, and kissed her. Thank you. I love you. Then I turned and followed my camera crew into the crowd. Many years later, after I'd reached the absolute peak of my profession, someone asked Sophia about that report, the one that shook the entire news world. Ms. Reed, the reporter asked, how were you so sure back then that he could pull it off? Weren't you worried? Not at all, Sophia said with a soft smile. Because the Ethan Hayes I know is invincible.